Hey! Oh, what a game that was. Bruins friends, it is time to hug it out. Because that is a 4-3 victory in the shootout against the New York Islanders. Welcome back down into the den, everybody. And honestly, this wasn't even just a win from the Bruins. No. Islanders, you also won this. In fact, all of New York won in this. Because during this game, there was a one would call it a pretty important election. It's only one of the most important elections that's happened in the state of New York for a while. Y'all got a new mayor. Zohran Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo pretty resoundingly. And he is now your new mayor. Congratulations. You now have someone that is actually there to do something. Instead of just get embroiled into corruption scandal after corruption scandal. But what about his comments about Israel? New Yorkers didn't vote for Mamdani to be the mayor of Israel. They voted for him to be the mayor of New York. And honestly, I trust Mamdani to run that shit far better than Cuomo. And hey, if all the people that threatened to leave New York if Mamdani won end up actually leaving, then honestly that'll fulfill one of his campaign promises without him even trying. A lot of people leave, obviously demand for housing goes down, so price goes down, cost of living goes down. And you would think that would also mean less people filling UBS Arena, but honestly, let's be real, the difference would be negligible because Islanders fans, let's be real, there's like maybe 17 of you, and maybe you're passionate. There's still only 17 of you. But before we get into the game and a certain incident involving Islanders fans later in the game, I need to actually shout out a couple of people. First of all, Carter and Zach Nolan of the Nolan Hockey Podcast. They have a Discord server that Carter has so graciously asked me to start plugging in my videos. So for the rest of this season, I will be putting the link for the Nolan Hockey Podcast and Canadian Football Central Discord server in the description. Join it, we have a lot of fun. They like to stream live reactions, and honestly, they are some very fun people. And second of all, I want to shout out Illogical Canadian, my buddy Tanner, mostly because I am dangerously close to passing him in subscribers. And it would just mean the absolute world to me if I could surpass him in subscribers before the end of the year. So hey, help me pass my boy Tanner here. If that happens, we might do something fun together. Thank you all so much for the support. Now back to the actual video. This game, the Bruins went into it with the exact same lineup as before, which means Khusnutdinov is on the top line center, and Mason Lohrei has been healthy scratch for the 4th game in a row. Now, for what it's worth, Sturm has commended Lohrei's play overall, and has said that at some point in the season, they are going to work him back into the lineup. And I don't particularly hate that. Again, I feel like this is kind of in the spirit of a retool. Like, you gotta find out what's working and what's not, and for a good chunk of the start of the season, Lohrei certainly was not working, especially as a defenseman. I downright refuse to entertain the idea of Lohrei as a forward. The only way you're going to convince me that Lohrei as a forward would actually be good is if you also convince me that Beecher as a defenseman would be better. But honestly, you don't want Beecher as a defenseman because right now he's the only player that can consistently win a goddamn face-off. I am begging, pleading on my knees, grabbing at Marco Sturm's garments, grabbing at every single player on the Bruins, every single player on the coaching staff. Please, for the love of God, learn how to win a face-off. Especially because a good chunk of the Bruins' frustrations in this game came off of the face-off. Freaking one of Bo Horvat's goals came off the face-off. And another one, oh my god, another one. I've had some positive things to say about this power play so far this season. the goal that Horvat scored on the crackback immediately after getting out of the box cannot happen. It cannot happen. You cannot allow that. This game should not have gone to overtime. This game should not have gone to overtime, especially with who was between the pipes. I think in the last game, I said that Elias Sorokin was a great goaltender that the Bruins just happen to own every single time he plays them. And I find that to be a little bit of an overstatement of Sorokin's abilities. Elias Sorokin is East Coast Stuart Skinner. He is a social media goaltender. Like, a lot of people will consider, like, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields to be social media quarterbacks, where, like, they'll make an insane throw just 45 yards down the field on a dime, and then the other 90% of the plays that they run are kind of dog-ass. It's definitely more applicable to Fields than it is to Herbert. But here, it feels like the same. It feels like the same. Sorokin was throwing his whole ass everywhere. He was going insane last night. And the Bruins could not get past him very well. But for the vast majority of the time, Sorokin is just like... It feels like those tiny moments where he just locks in the middle of the game and makes getting past him absolutely, like, pulling teeth levels of frustrating. He usually hovers around, like, mid to high 900, which is good. I'm not saying that isn't starter caliber material. I'm just saying it's not Vezina caliber material. Like, the only year in which Sorokin played at a consistently Vezina caliber was 22-23, and there was no way that he was going to win Vezina over Ullmark in that year. Linus Ullmark had that on lock from the moment that he scored that goal against Vancouver. So getting past Sorokin this game was kind of like pulling teeth. Except for one guy. One guy that has stepped up more than any other player on the Bruins this year. Marat Khusnutdinov. I've been on record saying that the moment that I found out that the Bruins got Khusnutdinov in the Brazeau trade at the deadline last year, I knew that we had won that trade. I could never have guessed how good that he would be. Khusnutdinov filling in on the top line center in the stead of Lindholm, in the stead of Elias Lindholm. He's stepped up to the plate so well. His speed is there, and he's developing some of the shot creation that is requisite to play on the top line. And one of them gets past Sorokin, and it's the game-tying goal to send the damn thing into overtime. And then on the shootout, oh my god. Oh, it's the only thing that goes in. It's the only thing that goes in. Swayman with three very crucial saves. I love Khusnutdinov, and I am so happy that he is becoming as good as he is. Like, damn, the more time progresses, the more the Bruins invariably won the deadline last year. I mean, we blew Minnesota out of the water with the Brazeau trade. He was scoring at an unsustainable pace, and we ended up getting Jacob Lauko back. We ended up with Khusnutdinov, star of tonight, amazing player, and a 6th round pick. I'd say that we got our money's worth where that's concerned, and then some. Coyle trade, we got a 2nd round pick for him, which we used on Leon Pettersson, who's been doing pretty well in Sweden. And we got both Casey Mittelstadt, who I've had issues with, but ever since he's been moved to the wing and has been getting more involved in board battles and has been throwing the body a little bit more, he's been amazing. And we got Will Zellers, who might be one of the best Bruins prospects I've seen in a while. Might even be better than Lysell. I'll have to do a Bruins prospect ranking where that's concerned. Frederick trade. I love Frederick. Great guy. Great player. Edmonton is learning a lesson that you'd think that they've learned after the Lucic signing that they made in 2016. That being that big, bruising, physical power forwards suck after their peak. And we got a second-round pick for him. And we used it on Will Moore. And he is so good. He's so good. Marchand trade, we got a first-round pick for him. Hope that can turn into something really good. It's hard to say whether or not we would have used that fourth-round pick on anything better than Henri Jokiharku. And Carlo, we got a first, and we got Fraser Minten, who was, again, such a good player. Here, the motor on him. Amazing. He is a more skilled Trent Frederick. Like, congratulations, you found your answer at third-line center. And for what it's worth, I think that at this point, you might even be able to bump him up to second-line center and put, I don't know, Patra there. Who knows? But that's beside the point. Point is, the Bruins won the deadline last year, and Marat Khusnutdinov is probably one of the best players that we've gotten from that trade so far. At the very least, in immediate results. But he wasn't the only star of tonight. The other star of tonight, Nikita Zadorov. Oh, Zadorov. Oh, he was so fun. And this is where things take a little bit of a turn. Because there was a scrap in the second period where he just lays the body on Matthew Schaefer. Now, admittedly, Zadorov got a couple of penalties against him this game that were kind of bullshit. One of them was just, oops, I skated into Anders Lee while he had the puck, and apparently that's tripping now. Apparently just skating into Anders Lee is tripping. This one, it's a little bit understandable. You could kind of see that you could kind of ask for an interference call there, but a bunch of people, but all 22 Islanders fans came out of their hiding after the game and immediately started shitting on Zadorov in DMs, to which Zadorov replied in the best way possible. An Instagram story with a screenshot of the people that are infiltrating his DMs saying, "Get out of my DMs and go to the rink to cheer for your team. That place was a library tonight." Now, as a professional hockey player, are you kind of expected to keep a little decorum and maybe not lash out at people fucking with you in your DMs? Yeah, you're kind of supposed to do that. You're kind of supposed to let it fall off your back. Is this funny? Undeniably. Oh my god. And honestly, all 6 Islanders fans that still exist, he's kind of got a point. And I know you're probably going to pop a blood vessel, which, hey, let's settle down. Let's not go to the hospital tonight. You're probably kind of angry at me and being like, there's more than 6 of us. Show up to the rink then. Show up for your team. Maybe Zohran can make trips to UBS Arena a little bit more affordable for you guys. Sounds like you might need it. And that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.